Hello and welcome to Saints Live. I'm Steve Forbes.
And I'm Kenzie Benali.
And as you can see, it's a bit of a different backdrop to open the season with, as we're here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first game of the Premier League season for Southampton against Spurs.
Yeah, it's so good to be here in the capital, isn't it? And of course, super excited for the season ahead. And I'm delighted to say that alongside us is former Saints captain Dean Hammond. Dean, it's been a while, but this is some way to kick off the new season.
It is, Kenzie. I'm blown away, if I'm honest. The stadium is incredible. It's good to be back, obviously. It's nice to have a break, but no, looking forward to the season, and what a way to start the season as well, with a brilliant fixture and a brilliant stadium. And like always, first day of the season, it's roasting hot as well.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
It
Glorious.
really is a great way to start off the season. Now, we will be having the team news coming up in about 15 minutes' time. What we can tell you already is that Tino Livramento is still a long-term absentee, so he's not with the squad. Theo Walcott and Nathan Teller are also both out injured, so aren't here today. Roman Perro could play a part in the side, but he's missed a big chunk of pre-season, so could be a doubt. Everyone else, though, is still available. Now, Dean, I suppose the first question will be about the formation. We know that Ralph has liked that 4-2-2-2, but has tested out a 5-3-2 during the pre-season games. What are you expecting today?
Not sure, if I'm honest, Steve. Like you say, pre-season he's worked on the 3-5-2, and it's worked. I think he's commented that he's very aware defensively he'd like to be stronger this season, and with the 3-5-2, that potentially gives him that. But you don't want to take away from the attacking sense as well. And it has worked in pre-season. I worked on the Watford game. They looked solid in that performance. I covered the Monaco game, and were very, very impressive in the second half. And actually, during the fixture, during the game, they switched in between formations. So it wouldn't surprise me if they've worked on that, to be able to rotate it during the game and not have to change personnel to change the formation. So I think it's good to have options. The players in the squad, there's real competition for places. I was looking at the team, trying to select a team, and I was trying to get every player in, and I couldn't do it, and where players are going to play. So I'm sure the manager will be happy with that. But it will be interesting. And of course, you're playing against a really good Tottenham team that are going to be really, really strong this season. So it will be interesting to see, but I would think he would go with the 3-5-2 today, just because he's worked so hard on it in pre-season, and I'm sure they've worked very hard on it in training. He's got a game plan, mentality comes into that, discipline comes into that as well. But I'm sure the players will be ready and thoroughly drilled for this game today.
Yes, indeed. Well, remember, you, the fans, can have your say on both the formation you'd like to see and, of course, the starting 11 as well. So please do drop those in the comments, as well as telling us who you're excited to see out of the new signings, and, of course, your predictions moving forward in this season. Now, Dean, let's talk about those central defensive positions, because, of course, we do have a lot of options there. Bednarek, Salisu, Stevens, and, of course, now Bella Kotchap, as well as Lianco, and you could put Jan Valery in there as well. So which two, or indeed three, do you think will be best suited to take on Spurs today?
Tough to say, really, but really, really good options. I think if we go for the three, which I think the manager will today, I think Salisu will definitely play, because he's left-footed, and it gives that balance. And obviously has had another season to develop, and is a very, very good player. He's looked good pre-season as well. Bednarek has the experience now. Still think he's only 25, 26 years old, but has played a lot of games and has been at the club and be aware of what the manager wants. But Lianco, Jack Stevens, Bella Kotchap, like you say, has come in and he's looked a real physical presence and has got a real turn of pace and is aggressive, which the manager likes when we're on the front foot and trying to press and win the ball nice and high. But I think if it was me selecting the team today, I think I would go for the three. Salisu would come in there, I think Bednarek, and between maybe Lianco and the new signing in Bella Kotchap. So interesting to see, but options, like we say, I think every manager will want options, and I'm sure they've all tried to impress in pre-season. They all look like, every professional footballer now looks incredible condition. We see the players walk out on the pitch. They seem excited, which you would when you walk into this. It's not a stadium; it's an arena. It's amazing. But I think the three at the back, I would go with those three, because they're going to be tested today. They really are, against some exciting Tottenham players that can score goals and be very, very dangerous. So they need to be on their mettle today, they really do.
Ralph certainly has got options, doesn't he? And he did talk about those three at the back providing more stability during pre-season as well, and the manager was talking about that in his press conference.
Now you spent the summer with your three at the back and changed things a little bit, lots of practice with three centre-halves. How much of that have you done because of your annoyance at the amount of goals you've conceded, because it's always annoyed you for a couple of years now?
Yes. I mean, this is absolutely the key, that if you want to be more successful, then you have to concede less goals. I mean, this is not such a big secret. Everybody knows this. It's a low-scoring sport, and when you don't concede, you have a bigger chance for taking more points. And this is the reason why we are trying to get more and more stable. But as always, this is not one way to go. There are always more ways to be successful in the defense, and we tried it very often with a high pressing shape. It worked quite well for a long time, and then in some moments in the game, it was damaged because of a quality action from the opponent and hard to defend in any way. So there's no guarantee now. Then we play a different shape. If we play it, that we then concede less goals, but we have worked especially on some details. I must say that also the new coaches in my staff put a lot of effort in to make these guys better defending, and this is the way we go now, and this is the way we want to get better in developing our players that we have, and finally we will see how often we are able to have clean sheets, to concede less goals than last season.
Well, before we get back to talking in more detail about the potential starting 11 to take on Spurs today, let's take a look at what you're saying from the comfort of your homes, or indeed wherever you're watching Saints live from today. Oh, I've missed reading these comments, that's for sure. We've got one here from Nathaniel Harmer, who says supporting the mighty Saints FC. Oh, from the Boozer today, so you're certainly not at home. They say next best thing to being there. Yes, indeed. Rod's Plays said it's finally here. Southampton FC, first game of the season. Let's go. Vishnal is going for a 3-2 Southampton win, just like the fixture last season against Spurs. St. Paris, the third kit is amazing. It is pretty smart indeed, isn't it? And a final comment for now from Dan Sharp. He says, I love the football season. So happy it's back. Hashtag Saints FC. We'll make sure you keep those comments coming into us. But for now, Dean, let's talk about the middle of the park. Obviously, again, that's another area of the field where we do seem to have a number of options. James Ward-Prowse, Oriol Romeo, Ibrahima Diallo, and of course now Romeo Latvia. How would you assess our strength in those positions?
Brilliant, and I'd add Stuart Armstrong in there as well. I think he can play that position, especially if you play a free. He can be the more attacking player within that area. But the options are great, all bring different attributes to the team. I mean, James Ward-Prowse is probably an automatic selection because of the player he is, because he's captain, but because of the season he had last year, the goals he's bringing to the team now is really impressive. So I think James Ward-Prowse will always play if he's fit, which he always is. He plays virtually every game. He's a little bit behind in pre-season, but I expect him to play today. Oriol Romeo, again, I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's a brilliant midfield player, and what he brings to the team is exceptional. Does the basics so well, and I believe Diallo is improving as a player, and he will be learning off Oriol Romeo. Similar types of player, a little bit more athletic than Oriol Romeo, and gets around the pitch a little bit more, can drive through midfield, where Oriol Romeo kind of controls the game by keeping possession. And Lavia looks like a decent player. He's coming, a young player. The club have made the investment from him and made a big effort to bring him to the football club, so I expect him to play a part this season, and looks like a holding midfield player that can kind of dictate play and control possession, but maybe with a more forward-thinking pass, maybe not just going sideways, maybe split the lines and get that ball into the forward players or an advanced midfield player. So really good options and competition, and I think last year we probably had 3 in them, but now having the 4, I think the manager wants that competition to go, well, if a player is slightly off form, or we've got playing against a different opposition, we need to try something different, he has those options in that area now.
You waxed lyrical about Oriol Romeu, and we saw him play a bit further up the field in a more attacking role against Monaco. Do you think that he has the qualities to play in that position, and would you like to see him play further up the park?
He definitely has the qualities, because, like I said, he controls the game, and he's really comfortable in possession of the ball, so he can receive it anywhere. That's one thing he does really, really well. And being a midfield player myself, he's happy to receive the ball anywhere. So maybe the manager's thinking, well, instead of you receiving the ball in our half and starting the play, maybe you can receive it a little bit nearer the opposition's box and maybe look for those cute passes or those assists, because I think he's got the ability to do that. His awareness is very, very good. Where will he get the goals? I'm not too sure. He likes to score a spectacular goal, he does, but I think he can assist other players, and maybe the manager again is thinking, can we control the game more in the opposition's half? And if Oriol plays that little bit more advanced, he can do that. And obviously then it may free up James Ward-Prowse to get further forward as well. Lavia coming in is a player that can maybe sit. Diallo can sit as well, and give that stability and that protection to the back four. So I think he can do it. And you mentioned the game against Monaco. I thought he was exceptional, really, really good. And sometimes you may watch it and think, well, he's not created a goal, he's not got an assist, he's not scored, but he's getting other players on the ball in those areas, so maybe they can assist and they can score goals. So he can definitely do it, yeah.
Well, before we get to today's team news and to talking about our attacking options, let's rewind the clock back to take a look back at the 5 goals we scored in pre-season.
Smallbone into the box, header from Armstrong, and it's off the post and in. And Southampton have equalised, and Adam Armstrong, lovely flicked header towards the back post.
Given away by Monaco, well read there by Redmond. Touch was too heavy though. Mariaplan will do the tidying up, or will he? No, he won't. Adam Armstrong now for Saints. Good feet, lay back to Elianusi. Well saved, Armstrong working. There's the equaliser. Monaco in a bit of a mess at the back. Elianusi with the initial shot. Armstrong, who's done all the hard work, eventually gets the goal. Still Monaco can't clear. Aribo. Stuart Armstrong, twisting, turning. Stuart Armstrong, what a goal! Great work from Saints in the end. They never gave up on that one. Stuart Armstrong. What a beautiful finish past Alexander Nubel. Players forward in numbers. Walker Peters, James Ward-Prowse seals the victory with a lovely finish. The Saints skipper picked his spot, executed it superbly.
Some of the pre-season goals there, and Dean, on that, let's look at the attacking options that Southampton have, because if Ralph does go for that 5-3-2 formation, which 2 attackers do you think will start the game today?
Good question. I think you'd have to go with Adam Armstrong, because he's scored a couple of goals in pre-season, and I think he's the most natural goal scorer. I think he's looked sharp. I'd be excited for him to start the game today. We've got Aribo coming, who scored a wonder goal in the last pre-season game, and looks like he has that ability to dribble past players and create something out of nothing. Physically looks strong as well and quick as well, which you need at this level in the Premier League. Shay Adams, we know what Shay does, and Shay's improving all the time, still young and still can get better, so he's a brilliant option. Mara's come in, I think, and I don't know a lot about him. Looking forward to seeing him play. Played the last pre-season game, and looks like he's a real talent, and again the club have made a real effort to bring him to the football club. And where does Stuart Armstrong fit in that as well? You know, he can play anywhere, he's that good. But I would probably go with Adam Armstrong today myself, and probably Aribo, if I'm honest. I think that would be a good combination. I think that could work well together.
Well, it's certainly a nice problem for the manager to have, isn't it? And plenty of speculation amongst the comments as to who will start against Spurs today. But the team news is now in, and we can bring you that hot off the press live from this glorious sunny stadium. So Ralph handing plenty of Southampton Premier League debuts to some of our new signings here. In goal, he's gone with Gavin Bazunu. He's gone for that three at the back with the wing backs. It's Mohamed Salisu, Jan Bednarek and Jan Valery. Those wing backs, Carl Walker-Peters and Moussa Gineppo. In the middle, it's our captain James Ward-Prowse, Oriol Romeo and Romeo Lavia. And then up top, Joe Aribo and Adam Armstrong. The Southampton substitutes then are as follows: Alex McCarthy, Jack Stevens, Armel Bella Kochap, Roman Perro, Ibrahima Diallo, Stuart Armstrong, Mohamed Elianusi, Nathan Redmond and Shay Adams. Dean, it's almost like you had a bit of a crystal ball there, because you were thinking it was going to, well, a very good guess. You were thinking it might be that three at the back, and you were just speaking there about Armstrong and Aribo. So it seems you've got your wish for the team to take on Spurs this afternoon.
Well, the front two, I think they can be really, really exciting. I think they have everything at this level to be able to score goals, create goals, and be a real threat. So looking forward to seeing that those two play today. As well, I think they're going to have to do a really good defensive job, whether that's pressing and trying to win the ball back from Tottenham, or being disciplined to hold a shape and not go and press. So looking forward to seeing that, but I think it's the right shape. Even though if you look at last season, we came here and played the 4-2-2-2 and won the game 3-2, but I think that suits because Tottenham are a better team now. Really, really impressive. No real surprises there. You know, Jan Valery maybe, but he played very, very well against Monaco. He looked really impressive in that kind of three at the back, and I think that's his best position, maybe rather than a right wing back or a right back. Gineppo has had a brilliant pre-season and a bit of a surprise playing left wing back, but he brings that attacking threat and that pace and that willingness, and he's aggressive as well. He likes to win the ball back and he likes to press, and he's very, very fit. So looking forward to seeing how this team develops. Will they change shape during the game like we spoke about? I don't know, but there's goal threats there. And three at the back, I think it gives you that stability that the manager talked about.
With the goalkeeper, Ralph's gone for Gavin Bazunu between the sticks. What have you made of him in the couple of games that he's played for Southampton so far?
Really impressive. When I saw him against Watford, again, it's only pre-season, but my initial impressions were really impressive. You know, he's an international footballer already at such a young age, but really comfortable in possession of the ball, and very, very happy to receive the ball at his feet from the defenders. To be able to play again and change play with a switch of play, or play into the midfield and know it's going to come back to him. So I think that's why the manager signed him. He looks like a very good goalkeeper, you know, safe hands as well, good reactions, he's a good size. But the thing that impressed me was his confidence, his personality with the ball. He was wanting the ball, just thinking, oh, well, actually I can see something, there's a switch of play, there's a diagonal, let's slow it down, stay nice and calm. And I think that will help Southampton during the stage of this season to be able to keep possession a little bit more. So when they are under pressure, they don't go quite as direct. They can play out, be a bit more patient and slow the game down. So he's got everything to be a brilliant goalkeeper. It's going to be a test today. I'm sure he's going to have saves to make, and I'm sure he's going to be put under pressure, but this is why he's come to the Premier League, to play in games like this and fixtures like this and against brilliant teams like Tottenham.
Not the easiest start for him, is it? Throwing him in at the deep end, but of course we are certainly looking forward to seeing some of our new signings in action today, and it seems that the fans watching along at home would agree with that. Plenty of score predictions coming into us, which is always great to see. We've got this one here from Harry Conroy. He's going for a 2-1 Saints victory. He says, let's have a great first game. Stephen Sinclair, thanks for this one. He says, let's march on, come on you Saints. Best of luck from Texas. Thanks for your support from across the pond. Seth Burton, also watching along. Hello to you. He says, come on you Saints, supporting today from the Isle of Wight. Not as far as Texas, but always great to have your company. Ryan Uckland says, come on you Saints. And Sam Cousins says, come on you Saints, supporting from France. Let's do this. Hopefully you can hear us challenging over the PA system here. With a shiny new stadium comes a shiny new PA as well, but it's great to be here, isn't it?
Well, let's remind ourselves of Southampton's visit here last season, where the Saints ran out winners on a memorable night.
On his outside, puts it back on his right foot. Back post, Shay Adams hits it straight at Lloris from 4 yards out. Saints try and stay brave on the line, but they go straight into Romero, and the flag does go up. Son's come in field. He's fed it to Kane, square to Reguilon. Great save by Forster. Threads a clever ball to Højbjerg. Højbjerg square, and this time Forster beaten by a deflected shot from Son. Spurs living very dangerously in their own penalty area. Perrault pulls it back, and Brozier takes the shot. First time, side foots past Lloris. Crosses left-footed to the back post, and Kane has headed it down and over the crossbar. Brozier's flattened. Spurs play on. Kane feeds Moura. Moura first time cross, and this time the goal stands. And Southampton are furious because Brozier's still down on halfway. Back to the captain. Here's that first time cross. Looking for a free header, and it is 2-2. And it's Moy Elyounoussi. Away to the far side. Ward-Prowse will put it back in first time. Free header for Adams, and he scores from Ward-Prowse's first time cross. 2 goals in less than 2 minutes for Saints. The back heel from Son finds Kane. Kane's cross deep into the heart of the penalty area, and Bergwijn scores. Romero headed it down. Bergwijn is offside, and that should be VAR. Surely he's looking at this. Bergwijn is offside day, and that's it. Southampton have beaten Spurs away from home.
Well, what a night that was. The Saints coming back twice from behind to win it, Dean. What were your memories from that brilliant evening?
Well, brilliant memories. Probably the performance of the season, arguably the result of the season as well. 3 brilliant goals, coming from behind twice as well, which is really, really impressive, especially at a stadium like this. But I just, the biggest thing was probably the crosses from James Ward-Prowse. I mean, right on the money twice. One for a brilliant midfield run from Elyounoussi, which we know he does so well. And then a goal from Shay Adams. And just the reactions from the fans, the players running away into the corner over there and celebrating. The togetherness for the players, and then the disallowed goal at the end as well, but VAR was on Southampton's side this time, and rightly so. The goal was offside. So a 3-2 victory, which was really impressive, but they played very well as well. It wasn't just 3 lucky goals. They took the game to Tottenham. They really pressed them, implemented their game plan, created chances. So it was a really, really good performance, and if we can get anywhere near their standards today, then I think Southampton have got a really good chance of getting a result. But it was very, very good from a young Southampton team. But I just love the freedom in that performance, the willingness to attack Tottenham, to take the game to Tottenham, to almost say, come on then, we'll take you on. We're as good as you, individually and collectively. And just a brilliant result and amazing memories from last year.
Premier League season, and that'll bring a new amount of expectations, a number of expectations from Southampton. What position in the table do you think they should be aiming for this time around?
I think always, as any club, because it's such a tough league, Steve, is always how quickly can we guarantee safety? How quickly can we be a Premier League team for next season? I don't think that changes for teams like Southampton and teams around them. Then within the club, I'm sure there's ambitions and goals to try and reach that top 10 again. I think that would be really, really impressive. Because I think the league has improved again with the investment that's come in from the top clubs. So we were talking before, it's going to be harder to beat the better teams this season because they've improved so much. But then also you look at it, are Brighton as strong? Maybe not. Leicester are having a few issues at the moment in terms of they haven't bought any players yet. Are they going to lose more players? And the teams that have come up as well, who knows? Before we come and show, Fulham were beating Liverpool, but how that ended I don't know. Nottingham Forest have really invested. So for Southampton, I think you try and concentrate yourself. They've spent some money and they've invested in the team, which is really positive and really exciting as well. And they're younger players that will be full of enthusiasm, and they've got real ability. So it's about winning games, and I think that's the next step, keeping more clean sheets. But I think if you can aim for the top 10, anywhere around that, and a good cup run, and exciting football, that's what we want to see. We always want to see, if you lose a game 3-2, so what? You want to be entertained, and I think Southampton can do that. When they're at the best, they entertain us. So a top 10, I think, is a push, but I think that could be the target.
Dean, that's your thoughts on the season as a whole, but of course we're in the capital for the opener today, so what are your hopes for this one?
It's going to be a tough game because, you know, Tottenham finished last season really, really well. They invested heavily. There's an expectation at the football club. I think it's better to play them now than maybe in 8-9 weeks' time, because they won't quite hit their rhythm. They won't quite be in full throttle, should we say. But you look at the Southampton team, there's threats there. There's goal threats. I watched them pre-season. I was really impressed with the work they did off the ball in pressing the team and try and win the ball back. Defensively, they look strong. So I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful today that Southampton can get off to a good start. And you know, as a fan, love watching the players, love watching the club. I think you just have to concentrate on the performance. Can we put a really good performance in? Can we take what we've done from pre-season into the first game of the season and set a marker, set a standard, and that take you into the season? So what the result will be, I don't know, but I'm hopeful of a really good Southampton performance today.
So, Dean Hammond hopeful for today, but it seems that those of you getting in touch are also hopeful. Let's take a look at what's being said in the comments section. Adrian going for a big 2-0 win to the Saints today. Alex Westwood getting in touch as well. He says good luck to the Saints. Peter is pleased to see Gineppo and Valerie starting. He said they deserved it after their pre-season performances. Aaron has said, I'm happy with that team. Very nice. Let's get this season started. The wait is almost over, Aaron. Glenn is saying happy to see Bazunu starting. Yes, indeed, looking forward to seeing him between the sticks. Henry says Gineppo about to pocket Kulusevski. And then we've got a comment here saying, "Common you Saints, first game of the season, watching from Sydney, Australia. Always great to have your company from wherever it is you're watching around the world."
Yeah, super exciting. Can't wait for today's game. It's
So
not long till kickoff, Dean, and we've got to ask you that all-important question, which is your final thoughts before kickoff and also your score prediction. Remember, you did win the Saints Live Score Predictions League last season, so you've got, you know, we're holding you in high esteem to live up to that.
Well, I'm not sure I'm the best at this, Steve, I must admit, when it comes to predicting the score. But like I say, I'm hopeful. You know, it's the first game of the season is always difficult to judge, and pre-season results and performances are always difficult to judge. As a player, I've had pre-seasons where I've not won a game and then we've won the first game and been really impressive. Pre-seasons where we've won every pre-season game and then started the season really, really slowly. So it's hard to judge, but the players have walked out on the pitch. They'll be really excited to play here today. It's going to be a full house. The atmosphere is going to be amazing. They've worked hard during pre-season. So I'm going to go for a hopeful 1-1 draw today. But I think it's going to be difficult. I think the goalkeeper is going to have to play very, very well. I think we're going to have that stability the manager has talked about with that threat on the break. Maybe a little bit more counter-attacking football today with some pace, with the fullbacks especially. But if we can have little spells of possession and little spells of frustration to Tottenham, like I said, there's going to be an expectation here. And if it's 0-0 after an hour or it's drawn after an hour, even though it's the first game of the season, you'll hear a few moans, you'll hear a few groans from the Tottenham fans because they expect to beat Southampton today. So 1-1 draw. And Southampton frustrating Tottenham for long periods.
Dean Hammond, thank you so much. Lovely to be joined by you for this Premier League opener for Southampton, taking on Spurs, and it's great to be joining you from the capital. What an impressive stadium this is. It is going to be a tough fixture for the Saints, as we've mentioned, but of course they were 3-2 winners in this fixture last season. They'll be certainly hoping for more of the same today, but whatever the outcome is in this one, we will be back with you after the match for the final whistle to talk about all of the major talking points from the game. Make sure you join us then. Bye for now.
See you soon.